Alright, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I like to begin by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rekakadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders. Great milestone, and shalom to, all the brothers around the four corners of the earth that teaching this good gospel and of sincerity and truth. Shalom, shalom, the few accords that listen in silence and obedience to your husband. Shalom. This brother Rami are here back with another video. Alright, and this video will be on Malachi chapter 4, right? So a very, very short chapter, but it's some future prophecies, things that are going to happen in the future. As I said, future prophecies, and these things are going to, shortly come to pass, right? It's a it's very short, 6 verses, but it's a very yapper chapter indeed, right? So we can start Malachi 4 and 1. It says, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble." Right? So that way it says, I read it again, "For behold, the day cometh, for behold, the day cometh," right? That's a particular day, right? A certain day that's on the way, right? And then it says, that day, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven." It can be hot as an oven does be, the heat of an oven, and then it says, on all the proud, yea, all the proud, and the proud and them, Moab and Esau and all these nations and them all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly, the 2/3 of Israel, all the rebels and them, and these other nations and them doing wickedness in the land, them doing wickedness on the whole, right? Shall be stubble. What is just stubble? They're gonna be likened to chaff. And when you throw chaff into the fire, it's like fuel for the fire. So and increase, it's just like fuel for the fire. Right? Chaff is like a kind of like a dry kind of bush. If you add it to fire, it's going be like fuel for the fire. Make the fire more. Right? So like a little water here on my screen. Right? And then it says that, right, ye shall be stubble, right? So, "For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven," right? "And all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble, and the day that cometh shall burn them up, say the Lord of hosts, I shall leave them neither root nor branch." So that day, right, it's gonna burn all of them up, and shall leave them neither root nor branch. So nobody to help them, none to help them. They're gonna get that fire. They're gonna get that indignation that the Lord has for them. Right? They're gonna get it. Right? Verse 2, "But unto you," that way it says, "But unto you," continuing on, right? It says, "But unto you that fear my name shall the Son of Righteousness," and the Son of Righteousness is Yahushai, right? That's Yahushai, the Son of Righteousness, right? "Arise, shall select, but unto you that fear my name shall the Son of righteousness arise with healing in his wings, and ye shall go forth and grow up as calves of the stall." So we can be, strong and healthy and mighty. The Lord is gonna change us, and these the thing that is going to come to pass, the changing of our bodies. I could bring one real quick. Philippians 3 and Salakia. I wanted to say this lesson was from the the brother Bakwamat elder, because he's an elder to me, right? But he's not an elder, he says, but he's an elder to me, right? So the my big brother, elder Bakwamat, like as I said, he's an elder to me, but he said he's not an elder, right? But he's an elder to me, right? He did the video, and I thought I watched him, I did not, make his angels open his understanding to get, you know, from his apostles and elders, and then he bring forth about a lesson edifying to all of us, until I was sure I get and I could understand it and do a lesson to it on my own to other Yahweh Hashem Yeshai for that. The Lord open our understanding so that we could get it, right? So you know to what Hashem Yeshai. So I was gonna bring Philippians 3 and 20. Start at 20 for our conversation is in heaven, from whence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahweh Hamashiach, who shall change our vile body that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the working whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself, right? So the Lord is gonna change our vile bodies, right, into bodies like his, right? Like unto his glorious body, right? And I can read that in GNT too. Philippians, in Philippians 3 and 20, it says, "We, however, are citizens of heaven, and we are eagerly wait, Silak, and we eagerly wait for our Savior, the Lord Yahweh Mashiach, to come from heaven." Right? So we are waiting for the Lord to come from heaven, and the Lord is in heaven, right? Ephesians 1, 21 going down, he's at the right hand of Yahweh. And then it says in Acts 1 and 9, when the some of the disciples see he's been taken. Okay, let's bring it real just to prove point. Acts 1 and 9, it says, "And when he had spoken these things, while they beheld, he was taken up, and a cloud received him out of their sight." So a cloud, a chariot, received him out of their sight. And mean and Salak, and while they looked steadfastly toward heaven, as he went up, behold, two men stood by them in white apparel, which is, that would be the angel, which also said, Salak, Salak, that, that's not bad, man. I'm getting GNT because I don't think that is the angels. Um, Bad, man. Acts, where is the Acts? Acts 1. Well, I'm sure because it says two men standing in white, and the angel might be in white apparel, right? But when you read it over here, it says they still, after seeing this, he was taken up to heaven as they watched him, and a cloud hid him from their sight. They still had their eyes fixed on the sky as he went away, when two men dressed in white suddenly stood. Suddenly, so he suddenly just came, right? They didn't even realize because the eyes was fixed on looking unto the Lord, getting received, you know, stood beside them and said, "Galileans, why are you standing there looking up at the sky? This Yahushai who was taken from you is in heaven, taken from you into heaven, will come back in the same way that you saw him go." Right? So the same way you saw the Lord go is the same way he can come back with the chariots, right? And he said that. Matthew, I think it's 24:64. He said, "And you shall see the Son of Man come with great power and great so like, I could get it because I ain't sure. Right, I could get it. Right, cancel like I will look in the gate, right? But that's not the piece of I wanted anyway. Right, but I don't think that was the angel, but it could be the angels because it says suddenly stood behind them. Suddenly. Just like appear and came, right, at the side of them. And asked them why the keys went up into heaven. Right, but the precept in Matthew, that's Matthew 24:64. No, not 64. So it's not 24. Is wrong. Could be 26. Yeah, it's 26. And yeah, I say it unto him, thou has said, nevertheless, I say unto you, hereafter you shall see the Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power and coming in the clouds of heaven. So that's the precept I really wanted, Well, this could I bring, but there's not the one I wanted was the Ephesians 1. But it says he's at the right hand of Yahweh, right? But this could come too because it says he had the right hand. See the Son of Man coming. So see Son of Man sitting on the right hand of power, right? Sitting on the right hand of Yahweh, right? And coming in the clouds of heaven, coming with the chariots. No Revelation, I think that's 11. We come with the armies, with the angels, that is in heaven. Right? But the Lord is gonna change our bodies. Then we could bring going back to the Malachi, the son of righteousness shall arise with healing in his wings, and he shall, change our bodies, right? One more we could bring for that is Isaiah 40 and 28. It says, 29, it says, he giveth power to the faint, and to them that have no might he increaseth strength. Even the youth shall faint and be weary, and the young men shall utterly fall. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Right? So they're gonna mount up with wings as eagles. They're gonna be able to fly. We go. That it says, they shall run and not faint. Right? Be like flash. Right? So the Lord is gonna change our bodies, right? And we're gonna have spiritual power. Alright, so going back to the Malachi 4. Malachi 4 and reach verse 3 and says, and ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. In the day that I shall do this, say the Lord of hosts. And why they're gonna be ashes under our feet? Because they're gonna be when they go back up, right? They're gonna be as it says in the verse 1, right? They're gonna be all the wicked, all that do wickedly, and all the proud, yeah, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. They're gonna be fueled for the fire. So they're gonna be getting destroyed. Right? So that way it says here now. Right? And ye shall tread down the wicked, for they shall be ashes under the soles of your feet. Right? Because remember, when the Lord come and change our vile bodies, that means you are part of the Lord's elect if he change your body. Right? That means you are part of the Lord's elect if he changes your body, and you are, a part of the Lord's elect. He's gonna change your body into one like his. Right? And and then once you make it, he'll be in the chariot, because that way you had to hear come up here, and he'll be in the Lord chariots, and you've been delivered, right? Because you have to go up into the chariot to, for the Lord to destroy these all these nations and the wicked, and all the children of Israel, So what we gonna be? We're gonna be in the chariot, because pursuant to Isaiah 26:20, it says, come, my people, enter thou into thy chambers, which is the chariots, and shut thy doors about thee, hide thyself as it were for a little moment, until the indignation be overpassed. So we gotta hide ourselves until the indignation be overpassed. Right? And we're gonna be in the chariot. So we're gonna be up and looking down at them while they're getting their house destroyed. So that's why they're gonna be ashes under the soles of our feet. Right? That is what I'm going into. Right? So that is how they're gonna be ashes under the soles of our feet. Right? Remember ye the law of Moses my servant, which I commanded unto him in Horeb, for all Israel with the statutes and judgments. You gotta remember the law. It have people saying the law is done away with. No, because the Lord now say here, remember the law. Right? So you have to remember the law. You can't say that the Lord done away with. That is blasphemy. Because you now say, remember the law. Right? And then relation slack. I mean to go to the Malachi. And then it could be done. Right? Malachi 4. Verse 4 it says, remember the teachings of my servant Moses, the laws and commandments which I gave him at Mount Sinai for all the people of Israel to obey. So you have to remember the law. You can't say the law done away. I have people saying that the law done away. The law ain't done away. The law isn't done away with. The law is still applied. We still have to keep the Lord's commandments. Right? And then verse 5 says, Behold, I will send you Elijah, the prophet, before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And Elijah, who we know as is Abba Bivens, right? And that way it says he will send him. Behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet before the coming of the great and dreadful day of the Lord. And that is before. This is for now. That is before the Lord sent Abba Bivens, and he wake up, you know, all the elders, all of our elders, which could be, King Marsha, El El Eliakim, High Priest Arya, all of them, right? So he waked up them and then wake up, the apostles, which when you go, the apostles go come in the plane, all right? So that way it says, right? Behold, I will send you. So he send Abba Bevins before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, which is to come. So he send them to wake up. And that way it says we have to continue. And that way it says, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to their children, to the children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. This I come and smite the earth with a curse. So this what is really going into it says, because it's the two verses are but connecting to each other. So when it say, Behold, I'll send you Elijah before the great and dreadful day of the Lord, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to their children. The father, so that says fathers, the fathers there, will be, the Eliakim, High Priest Arya, I think it had one named Kazawan, and it had more, you know, Eliakim, and them is the fathers, and them wake up the apostles, which is the children, right? So there we go, turn the heart of the fathers, so you go wake up the fathers to their, and the fathers go wake up their children, right? Because who come first, the fathers, then the children, right? And then when you go to is Matthew 16, it says, But whereunto shall I liken this generation? It is like unto children sitting in the markets and calling unto their fellows. So it's like children, which is the apostles, sitting in the markets calling unto their fellows and saying, We have piped unto you and you have not danced. The apostles went 10 years without fruit, without anyone that coming into the faith. But now it changed. The Lord, give them, give increase that men come in, right? And these men will, because the Lord knows his elect. So, some of these men will be, a part of the Lord's elect. We don't know if we will be a part of the Lord's elect. We hoping to be. So, hope is hopefully elect. We hoping to be a part of the Lord's elect. Right? So, saying we have piped unto you and you have not danced. So the apostles piped unto them and they have not danced. They have not taken heed to what the apostles are saying, the word of the Lord, right? So the word of the Lord, the apostles would have that, right? We have mourned unto you and you have not lamented. So this what is really going into them children as the apostles, and the fathers is, the Eliakim, High Priest Arya, and all these different men. Right? Well, these different elders, Salak, because it's a good few. I think it's like 7, right? So when you go back, right, David says, like 4 and 6, and he shall turn the heart of the fathers to their children, and the heart of the children to their fathers. This I command my dear to take it. So this book of Malachi 4 for you here. Right? So, I hope this lesson was edifying. To you, Lord, like giving all praises, all on honor, glory to Hawa, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Kakadash, and double honor to the apostles and elders of great millstone, and shalom to the elect, shalom, Labakariam, and that is wicked place. Shalom. Shalom to the elect.